I think your boy Brenton Strange. I mean, nobody remembered his name, John, except for you, except for us. But I think he's got like a legit top 12 fantasy tight end run out in front of him. He's averaging 55 yards per game. That's the same amount as Sam Laporta. Gotten 17% of the targets in his last 3 games. I think there's some legit upside here because, to Brett's point, I mean, there's just really no target earners on this offense right now.
Well, I always go to the famous, maybe famous to me, Kirk Cousins quote about throwing to Kyle Rudolph and why he liked it. He said it's like throwing to a couch. That's Brenton Strange, right?
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What's going on? Welcome to the Week 13 edition of Matchup Points here at fantasypoints.com. I'm John Hansen, joined by Graham Barfield and Brett Whitefield as always. And we are gearing up. Before we get to all the thoughts, we're releasing this podcast on Week 13. We're releasing this podcast on Black Friday. And actually, no, we're going to release this the day before Black Friday. My bad. We're not going to get, though, to the Thanksgiving Day games. We're recording before Thanksgiving. We're going to pass on those games because the shelf life of the content is going to be very, very small, maybe like 1 hour, because this is going to be released right before the Thursday games. So the day after tomorrow, when you're listening to this, if you are on Thursday, would be, of course, Black Friday. Massive Black Friday sale. This is crazy. Like, I know I had another website for 25 years. I never did anything like this. But I should have, because this is a great promotion to get people in the door. A lot of people have heard about Fantasy Points. They've heard the hype. They probably believe the hype, but they haven't had an impetus to go out and do it and sign up. But this Black Friday sale should do the trick because we're basically giving it away. $18 for the rest of the year, including the playoffs, for a premium subscription. $20 for the data suite, which is, I don't even want to get into how massively discounted these prices are, and then $40 for all in. So basically we're all in on getting you in the door. So $40 for the rest of the year is truly absurd. All the props that we're winning, our guy Justin Barnes, the grinder Tom Brawley. Hey, I'm over 500. I'm Mr. Crazy with all these props, but I'm hanging in there as well, and Graham too. So check it all out. Go over to fantasypoints.com, check on the plans page, and you'll see all what I just promoted, guys. But without any further ado, hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, which has not yet happened yet as we record this podcast. But let's talk Black Friday. Chicago Bears at Philadelphia Eagles. And Brett, I'll go to you. I know you're sick and tired of trying to handicap Caleb Williams. This does not look like a great schematic matchup against Philly. Although I see here against cover 3 and cover 6, he's 7.7 YPA. Maybe not the worst schematic, but certainly a tough individual matchup. Where are you with Caleb Williams right now?
Yeah, Caleb's still really not playing that good. He's like 33rd in the league in catchable ball rate, down next to our guy, J.J. McCarthy and Cam Ward, 29th in hero throw rate, 20th in turnover-worthy throw rate. He's got the slowest time to throw in the league, and against the Philadelphia Eagles, that's going to get you absolutely murdered. Another thing too, like I know his escapability has been really, really impressive, but it still doesn't result in good football. Like when he holds the ball over 2.5 seconds, his EPA falls off an absolute cliff. So I mean, there's a lot to be concerned here. They've had a really, really cupcake schedule so far, and I think the Eagles probably set them straight. He's also fumbled 6 times with a couple just egregious lost fumbles for one this past week for a touchdown. So I think this is probably a get right game where we'll see, Caleb's kind of been playing in a funky way all year. And I think we'll see that manifest into, a lack of production in this game, so to speak.
Graham, is DeAndre Swift over in Chicago as being at least viable for fantasy starting lineups?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's over for Swift, but last week was definitely a little bit of a surprise. I mean, I think Monungai has at least looked as good as Swift. Swift has had a pretty decent year, though, in terms of after contact, missed tackles forced. But, yeah, last week, Monangai did flip him 56% of the snaps to 43%. The big thing, John, is that he flipped him in the red zone too, 3 snaps to 1 inside the 10. This is like worst possible timing too, because this is the worst the Bears offense has projected, at least in the last month or so. They're implied to score just 18.9 points against the Eagles. That's well below their season average of like 26. Both, I just wrote them up as flex plays, but I truly have no idea. I think we could kind of be looking at a hot hand situation. I still think this is kind of like a Travis Etienne, Bashal Tutin type corollary where Swift is still the starter because he is so good on passing downs. But that being said, I did have to bump Swift down in the rest of season rankings, bumped up Monangai. And I'm just, for this spot, I mean, Eagles just don't really give up much on the ground. I'm a little scared of the Bears for all the reasons that Brett lined up, and this is kind of a trouble spot for their run game.
Yeah, and real quick, Brett, did you see anything but Roma Dunze? Because I'm still butthurt. I lost the Roma Dunze prop by 1 yard. I'm sure there were many close calls. Didn't expect DJ Moore to do well. I thought Luther Burden would have maybe a breakout game this past week. He kind of did, but any thoughts on the receiving core here? Based on the alignment numbers, it does look like Roma Dunze might avoid Quinyon Mitchell, which might be a little bit more on DJ Moore, but who knows?
Yeah, Rome is typically the go-to guy for man. He did have 9 targets, and I think the offense kind of struggled. It really did struggle kind of throughout the day. There was not a lot going on, and then they hit the seam ball to DJ Moore, which was a quick one-and-done drive there or whatever.
Nobody covered him.
Yeah, nobody covered him, just completely uncovered. So, yeah, I think it's probably some of it is just they got a couple easy throws in there, and then the offense was kind of struggling all day. I like the 9 targets though. It still feels like he's the go-to guy against man. So
yeah. Not for nothing, but Colson Loveland. At this point, I'm like, I don't even care about Cole Kmet, Graham. Like, I wasn't in on Loveland this summer, but about 6-7 weeks in, I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to buy, and it just looks like he's just getting it done, just because he's a freaking huge freak who commands the ball.
I think he's awesome. I think he looks awesome after the catch. I think he's running super crisp routes. I think he's going to be a massive breakout candidate next year. I think I'm just going to be a year early. I loved Loveland this year.
Yeah.
Has been awesome last couple of weeks. The problem is this is a really tough matchup. I mean, Eagles have just been erasing tight ends all year, giving up the second fewest yards per game. I definitely buy that Loveland could be like a second half flow in tight end 1. He kind of has already been that.
Yeah.
He flipped Kmet again. It's kind of annoying. Ben Johnson is just kind of rotating these guys through. They play a lot of 12 personnel too, but Loveland did flip Kmet back again last week. I think he's got a ton of upside for the rest of the season. It's just really tough spot here.
Looking at Philly, Brett, both guys last week got it done, but we've been in the mode of, is it a Devontae Smith game or an A.J. Brown game? Last week, again, it was both. This could be both again. I'd lean more toward Skinny Batman, but what do you see?
Yeah, Chicago's been leaning into some more man coverages lately. For me, it really depends how good they run the football. So, I put in one of our Discord chats earlier today that like down and distance is really the main driver between, zone and man coverage. And so if they can establish the run, and the Bears have been really poor against the run this year, this could be a good Barkley breakout game. I think that will help A.J. Brown because they'll be in more favorable third and short situations where they're willing to take more play action shot type stuff. And
probably get Jalen Johnson back, FYI.
Are they? Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I think situationally that could be favorable for A.J. Brown, but I do like both in this matchup.
Anything pop for you here, Graham, for Philly?
Yeah, I have the same note. This run game is scaring me, man. Lane Johnson's absence was felt again last week. I mean, this is an awesome matchup, though. We were calling Barkley a nice buy low a couple weeks ago, John. And it was for this stretch. Chicago is, bottom 5 in yards per carry, bottom 5 in success rate allowed. So, I'm already a little concerned about Barkley's rest of season outlook with this offensive line struggling. But if they don't like smash here, I'll be very concerned.
It's weird because Chicago they had a little 2-3 week pocket where they were stopping the run well, but maybe that was just an individual schematic thing. Let's move on here. The Week 13 edition of Matchup Points at fantasypoints.com. LA Rams at the Carolina Panthers. And Graham, do you have anything on the Carolina Panthers? Because, I feel like maybe Rico is wearing down just a little bit. I know that there weren't a lot of carries in week 12. But you look at the previous two games, not great. He was at like 2.9 yards a carry, 3.2 or something like that. Not the best matchup here for the Panthers in general. Maybe Tet, though. Maybe Tet.
I don't really have much on the Panthers. I mean, we called it last week. I mean, Bryce played a great game, objectively the best game of his career against the Falcons. Then he came back out, and he was the same Bryce Young we've seen for 3 years now. Hold the ball too long, guys running open, not getting rid of it. Offense just really struggled. I wouldn't hold anything against Rico last week. It was really just this offense couldn't stay on the field, and it was pathetic. Yeah. I mean, the Niners don't really have that good of a pass rush. They're starting backups at linebacker, backups in the secondary. I mean, Dowdle took just 6 carries, but he still got 65% of the snaps. Hubbard was at 35%. Right. And like you said at the top, this is a brutal matchup. I mean, this front seven is awesome. They're going to be able to disrupt Young and not give him any clean pockets. And they've got a great run game too. I mean, they're not giving up anything in terms of explosives. So really, I don't have much on Carolina. Tet, man, I just want to see him with a good quarterback. He's so freaking good. He's going to project so well for us next year when the Panthers, hopefully upgrade their quarterback situation.
Decent schematic matchup here. Cover 3. Basically at 2 yards per route run for what it's worth. And Brett, do you think that the Tyler Higbee injury will help out Puka with the fewer 13 personnel stuff? It seemed to help last week.
Yeah, it certainly could. I will say Colby Parkinson looks good on tape.
He does.
He's a big menacing target, man.
So does Ferguson.
Yeah, I'm a big Ferguson guy too. They're obviously working him in kind of slow, but I still think they're going to do plenty because they have Davis Allen as well, so they'll still hit you with 12 and 13. But I think definitely it will help some of the targets go to Puka, and they'll use them on those dump and run type throws quite often. So,
start him if you got him.
Yep.
Right? Might not be a huge Stafford game, but maybe he'll get 3 touchdowns and like 230.
Carolina's going to be down J.C. Horn, so it's going to be good for Devontae Adams. So.
And their pass rush stinks. So
it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a huge. I've been scared to death of J.C. Horn all year, and this dude is balling out there. I did not know he was already ruled out. Let's move on to the team also crapped the bed in that Monday Night Football game to wrap up Week 12. The Niners at the Browns, and boy, I don't know what happened to Brock Purdy. I guess he was just a little off on some throws. I mean, that's it, Brett.
Yeah, it stinks when you miss and it's right to a defender,
Yeah.
Well, the first 2 were terrible throws objectively. The third pick was an amazing play by Horn. That was
amazing play. Most corners probably don't make that play for sure.
Right.
He's one of 100, like 1 out of 100 make that play probably.
Does anyone have any thoughts on Ricky Pearsall? Is he the odd man out? I thought it looked like they were trying to get him the ball early, but he only got 4 damn targets.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, we've got, I think it's a 12-game sample now where he's been at or below 16% of the targets in 3 out of 12 games with Jennings and Kittle. I think he it'll be interesting to see, over the course of the next couple of weeks, just how this offense does morph. But I'm not seeing any trends, at least long-term, that point to us seeing Pearsall pop. It really has just been the Kittle show the last couple of weeks, which is what I kind of expected coming into the season. Then Kittle got hurt. He looks incredible. I think. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
you can't stop him.
No, you can't, and he looks fully healthy. I think it's pretty clear they want him to be the lead guy. And then Juwan Jennings has just been fine. He's been good against zone.
He's been fine.
So
yeah. Pearsall does not look healthy to me, by the way.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that, Brett. I mean, he was obviously their deep threat, was averaging nearly 20 yards in terms of his average depth of target. If you can't cut it loose with a knee injury, man, you're not going to be able to get deep. So.
Yep. In and out of breaks too. So a lot of post and sail routes he was running before. He just can't explode out of those breaks right now. At least that's what I see. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I see on tape.
Who are we talking about?
Pearsall. I guess the good thing long term is if they're seriously cutting Ayuk, right? There's that report that they're going to basically cut his contract, kill the guarantees. It's got to be bullish for Pearsall long term. I think if you're in a dynasty league, he's a pretty decent buy right now.
Well, that's true. And pretty decent litmus test here, too. If they're going to continue playing man coverage, he's been killing man. So, We shall see. But at the end of the day, I felt really good about Ricky's prop last week and didn't work. It was like 40 freaking yards. And I'm watching the game. I'm like, you know what? Just play over on everything McCaffrey and Kittle and call it a freaking day.
Yeah, that was the right call. For what it's worth, Pearsall's positive man splits are all Purdy. It's a small sample, but he is just crushing man coverage this year.
Right. Well, all right, Brett, the floor is yours. Let's hear it on Shador Sanders.
Hey, I'll credit Kevin Stefanski with giving him a workable game plan. I thought they did a good job getting the ball out quickly. That was the biggest concern, right? Is Shador is going to hold the ball forever and take a lot of sacks.
But that's not sustainable.
Probably not. I do think you probably continue to scheme it up, try to get him more
screens.
Screens, a little, play action, boot type stuff where he does give himself a little more time naturally.
Right.
The Raiders coaching staff should be, they did get fired actually. The fact that you could only sack him one time, he just invites getting sacked 4 or 5 times a game. So there's no reason for that. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. Now the one throw on the move he had was to Isaiah Bond downfield. That was obviously an awesome throw. Other than that, really vanilla offense, and I think that's good. I think that they'll slowly open it up for him, but for now, let's just keep it vanilla. We'll pound Judkin's face into a wall, and then
I'm like, how about the Wildcat stuff? That was kind of cool.
Especially because the efficiency with him has just been cooked for the last 5-6 weeks. So getting those touchdowns is nice.
I had flashbacks of Ronnie Brown out there.
Wow, yeah.
But did you notice any change in terms of the usage and the activity of the tight ends? Because this has all been tight ends under Dylan Gabriel.
Fannin was way more involved, I think, this week than the week before. Njoku didn't play, right?
No,
I think he's just been
limited, and
it's like a decoy out there.
Yeah, he's basically been a part-time player for the last 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, Fannin continues to look awesome to me. He pops off the tape when I watch it. So
no doubt.
Yep.
Houston at Indy, and it's another tough spot. I think, Brad, I'll go to you with Daniel Dimes. I mean, we've definitely hit a little bit of a rough patch. Not the best matchup here. I think Danny is hanging in there. Pretty good schematic matchup here. I see as he's over 9 yards per attempt against cover 3 and cover 4, but does seem like everything is kind of slowed down. And it seems like it probably starts with Jonathan Taylor. He's not been getting off.
Yeah, I think you're definitely seeing some cracks in the foundation with Daniel Jones. Probably going back to like week 8, actually, is when we kind of started to see it. And then, gosh, the game right before their bye, I think he took 7 or 8 sacks against the Falcons. That was a rough outing. And then last week, I mean, the sequence of events in that second half was crazy. They punted 4 straight possessions in a row to end that football game. Shane Steichen just completely unwilling to go for it on 4th down, which is mind blowing. As a guy who watches all the Lions, it's just weird to see a coach just 4th and 2 from the other team's 40 and you're punting. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And they lost the game because of it. So to me though, the reason I brought that up is it speaks volumes that maybe Steichen is seeing some of the cracks in the foundation.
Yeah.
Super trusting of what's going on with Daniel Jones. This is not a good matchup to get back on track either. The Texans are terrorists. I mean, you saw what they did to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
They made him look like a fool.
Absolutely.
Will Anderson Jr. has a legitimate case to be the MVP of the league right now, and he's a defensive player. I mean,
I don't know if I've seen anyone hem Allen that well in the pocket.
No, he's incredible. And Danielle Hunter on the other side is almost just as good. So
yep.
They're scary, man. The interior guys are all good too. This is a rough matchup. The corners are good. I could see this being a really rough day for the Colts.
Over on the other side, Graham, it looks like we're getting Stroud back. Is that a negative for Nico Collins, and anything else pop for you here?
I don't want to go as far to say it's a negative, but I mean, Mills has really acquitted him. I mean, he's acquitted himself very well. Ton of catchable throws for Nico. Obviously, Nico had the down game against the Bills, but Jaden Higgins kind of has had a little bit of a midseason pop here with Mills. Christian Kirk was revived in that game against the Bills as well. I think it's a neutral move. It's been interesting to see the Vegas betting lines move with Stroud. Like they're still giving him like 2 or 3 points worth of juice, and that means something to me. So yeah,
okay.
I'm not willing to say it's a downgrade, but it's probably neutral at best. I mean, with Houston this week, it's to me, it's all Nico. I do think Jaden Higgins is worth talking about, though. He is really kind of taken
looks
off
good
here in the last couple weeks. Yeah, he is really running some sick routes out there too. Looks very, very quick in and out of his breaks. Even with Nico as the alpha, John, he's got 7, 7, and 9 targets in his last couple games. I'm not seeing like a huge role rest of season, but maybe like a wide receiver 3 flex. And I mean, this offense certainly needs it. They don't have any. They haven't had anything besides Nico all year as their secondary receiver.
You know who Higgins looks like out there?
Nico.
He looks like Nico Collins.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They have 2 of the same guy now. Before you mentioned the 7-7-9, I think he had an 8-target game against the 49ers and 5 weeks ago. So he's been super involved. I'm just scared this role goes away. It's been nice to see him kind of emerge, and Stroud just wasn't targeting him. So to be fair, Xavier Hutchinson on most of the snaps when Stroud was in the lineup.
So. Such a terrible coaching decision. I don't understand that one still.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I wrote in the waiver wire, I'm like, this is a cream rising to the top situation.
Yeah,
with Jaden Higgins, and that's what you're always looking for. I actually thought Noel might have a better chance for relevancy because of the redundancy with Nico Collins. But hey, you want a couple of big ass dudes on the outside, hard to complain. I would say, Brett, though, this will be a Nico game. Let's assume it's Stroud. They're playing more man. Not a bad coverage shell for Nico.
He's going to catch shadows, the only scary part, but yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, Sauce. Yeah, that's true. That's a hell of a matchup, I guess. But I would not preclude Nico from winning.
Nope. No, I wouldn't either. They'll hide Nico a little bit too. They'll put him in the slot a little. They'll put him at the flanker spot a little bit too, so he can't get pressed. So they'll do some things to get him free looks. And also the Colts don't play a ton of man, right? They're going to sit back and play a little more zone. So even if they get that matchup, Nico runs a lot of in breakers. He should be all right.
Oh, real quick on the other side, do we have any thoughts on our guy Alec Pierce this week?
It's hard to catch deep balls when your quarterback's dying. So
right, yeah, I'm not feeling it. He's going to see Lassiter, and then on the other side, it'll be Stingley on Pittman.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal. I mean, Houston has been like Denver Broncos level of like just
Tyler Warren o'clock, baby.
Yeah, they erase outside receivers basically.
Yep.
Tyler Warren is freaking awesome.
Oh, he's awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's move on to the New Orleans Saints at the Miami Dolphins. Tyler Shuck. What do you think of when you're watching Tyler Shuck, Brett? Like, are you thinking, hey, this guy might have a chance to be the starter next year, or is it, hey, this guy is just playing a string out until they find a new quarterback next year?
He definitely looks like he has a chance to be the starter next year. I thought Rattler also looked that good, so that's interesting. Kellen Moore might just be that guy, I guess.
Yeah.
But Shuck throws a really pretty ball, man. Like he does.
He does.
Just, the decision making for what a 27-year-old rookie is kind of sketch at times. The back takes some of the time the tight windows he chooses to throw into. It's just a little goofy. But he's a rookie quarterback. I know we joke about his age, but he is still a rookie. So give him a little bit benefit of the doubt there. But yeah, I mean, I see a guy who definitely has probably earned the right to compete for that starting job next year, whether that's with Rattler again or with another guy that they bring in.
Gotta love it. A two-headed monster here. It's Olave, Juwan Johnson, and List. I don't want to look at the Mason-Tipton line on DraftKings. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care.
Devin Neal's a good receiving back, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, totally. I was going to set up Graham on that one. What do you think here? I mean, Graham, I feel like if Devin Neal can get you 25 yards rushing a game, like that's a big time bonus because it's more about the passing. But what do you think about Devin Neal?
Yeah, 25 yards rushing for the Saints right now would feel like 150. They have not been able to run the ball for the entire middle of the year. Yeah, I'm into Neal because of the passing down role. I do worry that Taysom Hill is going to take the short yardage and goal line carries, which we saw that last week. Taysom got 10 carries. That being said, I mean, there's definitely enough meat on the bone here. I mean, you just nailed it. I mean, it's Olave and Johnson, and they're not really thrown to anybody else. Kellen Moore has always been just a team target your good players type coordinator, and he's just doing that here with the Saints. I think at worst a flex play this week for Neal. Certainly could squint and see some like low end RB2 upside if the Saints offense is a little better for the next couple of weeks with Shuck. I did want to talk real quick. This is an amazing spot for both Olave and Johnson for different reasons. Miami is playing a ton of cover 2, a lot of too high safety. And to Brett's point, I mean, Shuck is not afraid to rip it. He's got a 9.2 yard average depth of throw against too high safety looks this year. That's great for Olave. And then obviously Miami's just been getting crushed against tight ends all year, giving up the 5th most yards per game. Juwan Johnson, John, is like constant. He's a constant boring tight end 1. Last 5 weeks, tight end 8 by points per game. And I think he's just going to kind of continue to be sneaky.
I was not totally buying it early in the year, and then he went into that little lull. But then they traded Shaheed. Foster Moreau has been Foster Lesso. And I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. Former wide receiver who's the second option in the passing game is not bad at all.
Yeah.
Moving on to Miami, I mean, do we even bother with Miami? There's nothing to say here. Don't start Tua. Start Waddle. Start Achane. But, Graham, what about Waller if he returns? Do you have any interest this week in Waller or see what we see? It doesn't look like a good schematic matchup for him.
Yeah, I don't know if matchups really matter for Waller because he's gotten such a huge role in the red zone. I mean, 44% of the targets in his 3 games inside the 10. That's just a huge role. Like, yeah, he might only catch a couple balls, but I mean, after tight end 6 this week, John, it's a nightmare. Like, tight end is really bad after the top 6 or 7. I could certainly see Waller being the low end tight end 1 this week. I mean, Achane at home against New Orleans, 6-point favorites. You can't really dial up a better spot, like coming out of the bye. He's going to have a huge game.
Would have been nice if the Dolphins gave us like anyone else at wide receiver that we could even remotely consider, but they have
Waller. It probably will be Waller.
It is Waller. Yeah, exactly. And shout out to Greg Dulcich for holding down the fort. Not bad at all. On last minute notice. Brett, anything else for this game? Probably not, right? But
no.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Not a ton going on there. Not a ton going on with the Falcons and the Jets. But at the very least, I feel like, Brett, that John Mechie is officially, in my mind, the number 1 wide receiver for the Jets. We'll start there.
Yeah, I mean, they need some type of breath of life, right? I like some of what I've seen from Adonai Mitchell on tape. He looks explosive. He's getting a ton of targets. Him and Mechie had equal targets, I think, right? Mechie does more of the short stuff, the gadget type stuff, which is going to give him a higher floor, of course. It's definitely those 2 guys. Mitchell still runs routes at the wrong depth all the time, so that's concerning. But he looks explosive as heck, though.
Right. Graham, do we look at Mason Taylor here?
I can't. Yeah, he's just had his roll cut. To Brett's point, it was all Mechie and Mitchell last week is the clear cut top targets. I mean, he's got a little bit more of a chance. I think Tyrod gives them more consistency under center for sure, but not really. I think this is one of the best spots for Breece Hall in a long time, really long time. It feels like, at least. The spread implies a close game. Falcons are just 2.5-point favorites, and they can be run on. I mean, they're bottom 10 in yards per carry, bottom 10 in success rate allowed. So this is a really nice spot for Breece. I haven't really considered him like a strong RB1 in many spots this year, but I think this might be it.
Well, finally, they're using him in the passing game.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Tyrod just gives him a chance to actually like pick up first downs with relative consistency. So, it's still not great. We could see Tyrod go out there and throw 3 picks and he still takes way too many sacks, but
still better than Fields.
Yeah. Higher floor.
That's
for sure. That's for sure.
How about our guy Mooney? He actually did something this past week, by the way.
Yeah, Chris Wecht, our projections he was making some notes that Mooney's kind of starting to pick up in terms of his separation metrics before last week, and that popped. 49-yard bomb last week. Good spot. I mean, this is the Jets secondary that brought Jerry Jeudy back from the dead a couple weeks ago, John. They gave up a big game to Stephon Diggs without Sauce Gardner, so I'm cautiously optimistic on Mooney here, and it's because, I mean, Brett, like Kyle Pitts is just he just becomes a ghost in this offense. Like it's bizarre.
I'm convinced he's point shaving at this point.
Oh, really? Dude, he had a drop for a touchdown a couple weeks ago that was like questionable. Questionable. Yeah. I could see it. I don't want to say this is like an Emmanuel Clase type situation, but
I think with all the investigations going on sport to sport right now, I think they better call up my guy Kyle Pitts and see what's going on there. So,
oh my God,
I say that semi-sarcastically, of course.
Yeah. I mean, he grew up. Never mind. I won't go there. Nothing but bad things happen when we go to taboo topics.
No, but it's bizarre though. Like, I mean, he's got his role's good, but I mean, there's just been no production. 22% of the targets last 2 games without London is really good for a tight end. He's just not produced at all.
I think Kirky hates him.
They've never had a good connection.
Yeah.
It's never been good.
Well, Kirky last year, I believe, in the summer was like breaking his balls. Like, really? He was like, really? That was your route, dude? Like in practice. Which, good for Kirky. You know, you're a 35-year-old man out there, been in the league a decade and a half. You got this stud unicorn out there nonchalant on routes and stuff. And Kirky's like, I don't like that, Kyle. I don't like that. Anyway. Anything else pop for anybody, Brett, in this game? Atlanta at the Jets, obviously Bijan, maybe Mooney. There's no more Sauce Gardner to worry about. I guess we kind of covered it. Anything else, Brett?
No, my real only angle was Breece Hall, and Graham already hit it. So
I stole your thunder.
No, that's all good.
Let's go to Arizona at Tampa, and it does, Graham, look like we're getting Marvin Harrison back.
Yeah, he should be back. I don't know if the last 2 weeks are a good or a bad thing for his fantasy value, though. Like,
right.
Michael Wilson gets all these targets and basically does what we want Marv to do. For what it's worth, Wilson looks incredible. I think there's space for both of these guys to succeed. MSJ should be back. This game obviously has like some serious shootout potential. It just comes down to whether or not we get Baker Mayfield. I was not overly optimistic, I guess I should say, very, very kindly about Teddy Bridgewater's performance in this last game. So, I want Baker in this spot badly because if Baker plays, this game is probably the best game on the 1 p.m. slate. It might be a snooze fest, this 1 p.m. slate, but this game has some serious upside, especially with Marvin Harrison back. I'm excited to see how Petson kind of like deploys these guys because I've been wanting Marvin Harrison to run way more horizontally breaking routes, crossers over the middle. Get this guy running because he's
George Pickens.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, exactly. He's awesome. Like, so maybe they can use Michael Wilson as like a functional X and then kind of use Marvin Harrison as a layered piece here. We'll see. I'm a little optimistic, and obviously this, like I said, this game has some real juice if Baker plays.
His father was a Z.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know Marvin's bigger.
Yeah, I mean, his dad was so much more sudden, but, I mean, I still think Harrison's an awesome athlete. He's looked great for 2 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. Brett, I equate Michael Wilson to a running back who's been sitting on the bench, not getting carries, and all of a sudden now he's getting 20 carries a week, and he's rolling, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Totally what it is. I think the week Jacoby took over the starter, I said on the show, I thought it would be great for Michael Wilson because Jacoby will throw over the middle of the field. Go figure. It's weird when you ignore one part of the field, how bad that can hurt your offense, you know? So, he looks awesome. This is the guy I loved coming out. It's cool that we get to see him. And what's really fun, too, it's not just like crazy volume. Like, he actually looks good. Like, he actually looks the part. So.
Totally does. Like, great body control. Like, he's in control.
Yep.
You know? Good matchup here for McBride. Graham, back to you. What about the backfield here? It looks like we might get Trey Benson back.
Yeah, might get Trey Benson back. They've been slow playing this knee injury, so if he plays, I do kind of expect him to get 50 to 60% of the snaps, which would be pretty valuable even in this spot. Also, we might get Bucky Irving back this week, John. It seems like he's got a real chance to play. I did see a quote, though. I can't remember.
I saw it, too. It was from the OC.
Yeah. Okay, it was Grizzard. Yeah, he's basically saying that they're going to like have the same role as Chris Godwin last week, where he's going to be limited. So it'll probably be Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving. Sean Tucker looks awesome, and the Cardinals have been terrible on the ground. So I'm you're playing Bucky. You've been waiting this long to play Bucky. If he starts, you're playing him. But I think if you have Sean Tucker and you're in like desperate need for a flex, he's certainly in play this week too.
Yeah, it's like I always say: are you back or back? Back is I'm back. But limited. Back is I'm back and I'm really back.
Yeah, I think it might be one more week for Bucky to get there. But, I mean, John, his rest of season schedule is awesome. And they get the game against the Panthers, game against the Falcons. There's still a really good chance Bucky's like a huge piece of what you need down the stretch, and then that obviously Tampa Miami game in Week 17. We've all had that game earmarked all year for fantasy.
Now that all said, Brett, is the Buck offense potentially like, I don't want to say broken, but in a bad place? Like, is it all Baker's injury? Because they haven't been any good.
Yeah, I mean it started way before that, right? Like,
yeah.
Been a few weeks now. Baker just wasn't playing at the level he was early in the season, which understandable. The offensive line, musical chairs they've had to do, and then the receivers being out. So yeah, I don't think it's in a good place. Teddy Two Gloves looked like he didn't plan on playing football at all this year when he came in the game the other day. So that was quite alarming. So if he has to go, this is Brissett versus Bridgewater. Battle of the backup quarterbacks. We're just missing Joe Flacco for this contest, but
it's like Teddy's been spending the last 2 years, nurturing his hair. Looks good. Looks good.
You gotta remember, he was coaching high school football.
Right.
And then the Lions brought him out of retirement for the playoffs last year. He basically was on the roster for 2 weeks, and then he decided to not coach high school football this year. So I legit wonder if he was just ready to just be done. So.
Yeah, this is, and then Baker's iffy to play, right? Like we won't know probably till Friday.
They're in a tough spot too, because they're still, even at 6-5, they're still number one in the division with the Panthers losing, and
yeah,
they still kind of need to go for it. But like, how bad do you want to risk Baker? And the Panthers are kind of nipping at their heels a little bit. I don't know. They're in a tough spot too.
Here's the problem, Graham. Baker's such a tough gamer that he'll freaking go hurt, and then but then he'll hurt us.
That's what he was saying. There was a quote I read this morning where he's basically saying that, like, if we're still in do or die, like I'm playing, Baker's going to want to try and play. It does make, trying to handicap this game a little more difficult, because I'd be out on the Bucs offense if it's Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, people have got to be wondering about Ibuka at this point.
The volume has been amazing. It started with that Lions game. Baker missed some throws in that Lions game. And he's just kind of been shaky since. I mean, it's, like Buka's never been the biggest separator in the world. I mean, Mike Evans was still getting separation at an extremely high level before he got hurt. So I do wonder if not having like a true number one alpha wide receiver has hurt. Obviously, Godwin can be that guy when he's in form, but he's not been close all year, obviously.
Right. That was my theory, Graham. I mean, Brett, I said, look, hey, Baker's been hurt. He was hurt. And we're asking this guy, I know he played a lot at Ohio State, but we're asking this guy to be the number one receiver. Like, boom. Like, one day you're the 3, and then a month later, like, you're the 1 guy.
Yeah, and he certainly didn't profile that way for me coming out. I think he obviously works into that as he develops a little bit, but I didn't think he was ready for that role right away.
Again, what I say, Graham? Thank God for gambling. And thank God for fantasy, because these games are terrible out here. Like this one, Jacksonville at Tennessee. Though, did you see any life from Cam Ward last week?
Yeah, I continue to think Ward like makes occasional like huge big time plays, and then there's just like the plays where he's mired in inconsistency. He holds the ball too long. The sacks have been bad at times. Obviously, he's playing in a just the worst infrastructure in the league, right? Like,
it's like a third world offense.
It really is. I mean, a dead interim head coach and Mike McCoy that's going to get cleaned out, obviously in the worst receiver group in the league with no Ridley, no Io Manor last week. There's like legitimate asterisks next to Cam Ward's rookie season, in my opinion. I think they have to give him a second year very clearly. He's had enough good to mix in with a lot of bad to kind of give him that second chance. I'm not really super stoked on anybody in this offense this week, John, except for Chimere DK. We'll see if Elick Iomanor can go. He's got a hamstring injury. He's questionable. If he misses again, DK will probably be the lead target. Gunnar Helm is starting to play a little bit more. I think Gunnar Helm is awesome. I think
I'm a Gunnar Helm guy.
I really like Gunnar Helm coming out of Texas, just watching Texas for the last couple of years, and then he's looked really good these last 2 weeks. But great spot for DK. If you're in desperate need for a wide receiver 3 or flex, Jags giving up the second most yards per game to opposing outside wide receivers. And like I was just talking about, Ward is willing to throw it into tight coverage. He's willing to chuck it deep. DK's got some legit upside in this spot.
And on the other side, Brett, the Trevor Lawrence update, still throwing it to the other team. I might be insane but I feel like he's making some incremental progress. But what do you see?
Well, Trevor Lawrence does that. He'll have 3 or 4 plays a game where you see it and you're like, oh,
Right.
that's the dude. And then
Right.
he has 3 or 4 plays a game where you're like, my God, man, how are we still doing this? Like, he's making mistakes that like rookies and second-year quarterbacks make, and then but he's a paid man. He makes $50 million a year, so it's really hard to feel good about it. But yeah, incremental progress is probably a good way to describe it, though. I think, like, if we're giving guys, asterisks, I think Trevor Lawrence and the pass catching unit he has to work with right now is definitely worthy of an asterisk for him. Where it's like, I don't know that I'm holding him completely accountable for what's going on there. He's got, Parker Washington has some good run after catch ability. Jacoby Myers is a good route runner, but he's new to the offense. Other than that, though, he's got really nothing, man.
Is it like no one's winning early enough, and so the pressure's
they don't have
on?
any route runners. Strange and Washington are really just catch and run guys, and then Myers is a separator, but he doesn't even know the whole playbook yet. So it's
right.
And nothing downfield. They have no downfield threats whatsoever. Graham, Tim Patrick, what's going on? Like that horrible drop every week, it seems like. And I just feel bad for Trevor because it's like he put it on the money. The last week was really bad.
He moves so slowly. He moves in eons. They're measuring time differently with Tim Patrick. I mean, yeah. I put it. I mean, for sure, you can put an asterisk next to Lawrence. I mean, this team has like a 10% drop rate this season. It started with BTJ. I mean, it's been bad, but I mean, Lawrence, like you said, I mean, the first touchdown throw was one of the best throws of his career, but he then made just like 3 egregious decisions. Like the ball placement was really bad on the first 2 picks. I think that being said, though, this is an awesome spot for Travis Etienne. I was just wrong about this backfield. Bashal Tutin was not a factor last week. We went right back to the Etienne getting 60 to 70% of the snaps. Titans have been much better on run defense since Jeffrey Simmons came back, but I mean, this is the Jags. They're favored by 6. That was my one angle in this game for Etienne. I will say, John, I think your boy Brenton Strange. I mean, nobody remembered his name, John, except for you, except for us. But I think he's got like a legit top 12 fantasy tight end run out in front of him. He's averaging 55 yards per game. That's the same amount as Sam Laporta. Gotten 17% of the targets in his last 3 games. I think there's some legit upside here because, to Brett's point, I mean, there's just really no target earners on this offense right now.
Well, I always go to the maybe famous to me, Kirk Cousins quote about throwing to Kyle Rudolph and why he liked it. He said it's like throwing to a couch. That's Brenton Strange, right?
I think he's a little more athletic than Rudolph. A little better run after catch, but yeah, he's a
so
good safety
big.
blanket. Yeah.
It's another effort to tackle.
Yeah.
This dude, I think he's got 8 forced missed tackles on the season.
Yeah.
On like relatively low volume. So
good. He's a good player, man. Like really good player, I think.
He just looks so big out there. Maybe I'm overstating it, but I don't know. I guess he's average size for a tight end, but
it's just too bad that we had like 2 games where BTJ, Hunter, and Strange were all playing full time, because that's a pretty good like trio of weapons. Right?
Oh, I know. Well, I was just going to say, can we get BTJ back to be their deep threat?
I don't know. I mean, he had this high ankle injury, and he did not look particularly comfortable after he got hurt in that Raiders game. So he might not be 100%.
But in theory, Brett, wouldn't that make a ton of sense? Like just run them on vertical routes, man.
Tim Patrick's the vertical element right now, and that's not a winning proposition. So
wasn't that really all Brian Thomas did in college?
Yeah, that's that and slants. That's literally it. That's basically all he did early in the year as well. Just didn't catch any of them. So
okay. All right. Well, moving on here, the Week 13 edition of Matchup. Oh boy, Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Well, full disclosure, I had this game circled on my calendar after McCarthy played well against the Lions. And my confidence improved, and I'm like, well, let's look at the schedule. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah,
Green Bay and Seattle. Brett, I want Max Brosmer to start.
Yes, I do too. If I'm JJ, I read that he cleared the first stage of concussion protocol today. I'm like, no, fake it. Tell him you feel like you want to vomit.
Fake it till you make it.
Bro, do not play in this game, JJ. I'm sorry. You're gonna
Brutal.
I mean, JJ's just not playing good enough to want to see him against this defense.
Everything's broken, Yeah. By the way, not for nothing. Again, I'm not making excuses, but there is one element that I don't know if anyone's brought up. Justin Jefferson missed the whole freaking month of August.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks like trash, but
Right. That's not helping.
Yeah. The whole offense is out of sync. The interior offensive line's in shambles. They can't really run the ball. JJ's catchable ball rate's worse than the NFL. The whole thing's broken right now.
Yeah, broken. Aaron Jones looks good, though, Graham.
Yeah, ageless wonder Aaron Jones. I hope this guy he's like the Mike Evans of running backs. He just doesn't – he gets hurt once a year, but when he plays, he's awesome. I think he's honestly, John, like their one chance in this game. I won't – I'm not going to sit here and try to cap Brosmer and what we're going to see from him, but I do think, Aaron Jones continues to look good. They've made him their lead back. But man, I mean, this is just, it's brutal. I mean, they're going into Seattle as huge underdogs with a terrible team total. So,
and a Sam Darnold revenge game.
Yeah.
That's okay, Sam. Good for you. Still not winning a Super Bowl. That's my contention. Hey, I could be wrong, but put it this way. We'll never know. Maybe he will win a Super Bowl. My contention wasn't winning one with the Vikings. Because when you're the Vikings quarterback, the other team knows that you're on the Vikings, and their confidence is through the roof in a big game. So that's why we needed somebody who was a little different, like J.J. McCarthy, but certainly it's not working out. And now we're already looking at another retread. And I heard, I saw a report that they're interested in Daniel Jones, who they had in the building last year, of course. Anywho, I'll go to you, Graham, on Ken Walker. I went in on his prop. Thank God he won. Looked pretty good. Didn't do much. But I feel like we're this close to a big, like a breakout. Is he moving up in the world in your mind?
A little, yeah. I'm with you. I mean, he continues to look incredible. Last week got this 64% snap rate. That was easily a season high. He's been floating in like the mid 50s in terms of his snaps last week. All that being said, of course, it's Zach Charbonnet at the goal line getting that goal line plunge carry. Walker, again, had over 100 yards from scrimmage last week. Looks incredible. We've been saying all year, Vikings can be run on. This is clearly a spot for them to lean on their run game with Walker. And I do buy. I mean, all the coach speak has been very positive from McDonald, from everybody, on this coaching staff about Walker. I do buy a little bit that, his value has shot up, but again, we've done this before with Charbonnet. Even though he's only going to get maybe 6 to 8 carries, he's going to be involved in short yardage. He's going to be involved near the goal line. It's frustrating, I know, but it is how they're running their offense. They've kept Walker healthy all year, and they're doing. It's worked. But yeah, this is just as good of a spot as last week. Maybe slightly worse against than the Titans spot, but yeah, pretty on par. I think Walker's a really high upside RB2 this week.
I got to say, guys, Brett and everybody, I'm a lot older than you guys. So like I always contextualize it. Like I literally remember when Bill Walsh got the job with the Niners, who were awful. So I remember the infancy of the West Coast offense. I was in high school when Jerry Rice was a first-year player, all that. So I saw a lot in the last 55 years. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba's season right now on pace. If he keeps it up, it's going to be one of the most impressive years I've ever seen. I mean, I'm grading on a curve because in this modern age for him to do this, it reminds me of Isaac Bruce's 1995 season, which is one of the greatest breakouts of all time. But this Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brett, this is one of the most impressive seasons I've seen in half a century.
He's a monster. He's easily a top 5 receiver in the league to me right now. This is exactly who I thought he was. I thought the NFL completely overthought his draft valuation. He got pigeonholed as a slot-only type guy, and he can do everything. So, but guys, I'm also losing my mind right now. Ian Rappaport just broke news that Frank Ragnow is coming out of retirement to join the Lions.
Whoa, Frank the Tank is back.
I'm not kidding. I literally can't focus on anything. I'm like I want to go run around my house screaming. So,
oh, my God.
That's incredible. The Super Bowl's back on. Let's go.
Now, that helps the running game. Any thoughts on, like, David Montgomery has not been as great,
Have you seen Jahmyr Gibbs play?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gibbs
I know.
on another planet.
Jahmyr Gibbs literally willed them to victory on Sunday in a game they should have lost.
Yeah.
So.
No, I hear you, and I kind of felt that way, and I said that we kind of wishcasted that he would kind of take over the backfield a little bit. But yeah. I'm just saying, like, I feel like for the playoffs, it would be nice to have Dave Montgomery, but I guess he's ready to rock and roll. So hey, that's big news for Detroit. Is he playing on Thanksgiving? Of course, we're recording this.
Rappaport's words, the way he said it, he said he's in shape and ready to roll.
Wow.
Obviously knows the playbook.
That's awesome. That's good news.
Dude, that's so, because the Lions got early retired from Barry. They got early retired by Megatron, and then Frank for good reason. Dude was just beat to crap. But apparently he's had enough watching what's going on. So he's like, all right, cool, I'm back.
Well, Frank the Tank, when they drafted him, I was like, this guy's one of my favorites. Like, I mean, I love this guy. Like,
not a lot of 6'6" centers are there, but he's a monster.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Great nickname too, of course. I mean, Frank the Tank. Come on now. All right. Well, Seattle's going to crush the Vikings. That we know, and JSN will be very involved. They're going to kill them. They're going to absolutely murder them. Let's move on to the Raiders and the Chargers. Well, Graham, Amarian Hampton, your thoughts? It looks like he's in play.
Should be back. Looks good. Saw some drills of him running. Doesn't look like he's limited at all. Problem is that I think this Raiders run defense is really good. They've been very underrated all year. They've been super competitive. Obviously, Chargers should control this game script. Hampton should get plenty of touches and carries, but maybe from middling efficiency here against this pretty good Raiders run defense. Arguably, the only thing the Raiders are doing right now is playing run defense well. They've been playing competitive run defense, but they've been terrible pretty much everywhere else except for obviously Max Crosby. I'm excited to see this Chargers offense full go, man. I know they don't have their tackles, they don't have Slater, but like they've got their three receivers healthy. They've got Gadsden balling. They'll have Hampton back. Brett, I know Justin Herbert has been super, super. I mean, he's just been inconsistent. Honestly, he really has been. But I mean, this is like by far the best outlook in team he's had around him. What do you see for this spot? Because this is a rough Sunday slate. Like you guys listen to this game, you guys have listened to us all year. Like this is in terms of matchups, this is not the best slate. We were looking for some upside here. Chargers on this Sunday slate, I think have probably some of the highest upside. So Brett, I was going to ask you, like, what do you think of Herbert's rest of season outlook? Because I want to believe in a Chargers breakout. They're 7-4, right in the middle of this AFC wildcard hunt here.
I don't think it can happen, and I hate to pour cold water
Damn
on
it.
Hey, listen, I want to give Herbert his flowers. Actually,
Yeah,
I think what he's had to overcome this year, like in every year prior to this, he's gotten excuses that I thought were not legit. This year, I think it's legit. He's down 2 All-Pro tackles. And then he's down the third tackle in Trey Pipkins. And now you got a cast-off and Trevor Penning, who's failed at 4 different positions in the NFL. And I don't even know who's playing right tackle for them this week. So Bobby Hart maybe off the couch. It's bad, man. So this week against the Raiders, yes, he's going to tear it up. But this is pretty much it. They got the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Broncos to finish the season.
that's brutal.
And the Cowboys looked like a cupcake, but their defense is like 180. I wouldn't say they're good yet, but they're playing much better. Quinnen Williams is a monster. Donovan Ezraku's come along. So, yeah, the season outlook for Herbert to me just does not – it's a little scary because I just don't know how they pass protect against the good teams like the Eagles and the Chiefs and the Texans.
That's a great point. I mean, Dallas's pressure rate the last 6 weeks, I mean, they're in the top 3 in terms of getting pressure, so that's a great call.
And they're getting healthy. Overshown as a difference maker at linebacker. He's back. So
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and then Genty, Graham, is suspect here to play.
Just saw a tweet. He is practicing today. There's been multiple reports that say it's like a minor injury. So
okay.
Yeah,
all
hopefully
right.
he's
never
all
mind on Raheem Mostert then.
Yeah, hopefully he's all good. Chargers have been so stingy in their pass defense all year. Another terrible spot for Geno. But, you can run on them. So for as long as they can keep this game close, I think it's a good spot for Jancy. But he might have to, catch 6-7 passes to get there for us this week, John.
That's what he's been kind of doing.
That's what he's been doing, yeah.
Which is actually not a bad idea, certainly. He's been pretty good. Are you ever going to take a Brock Bowers over again this year, Graham?
No.
On a prop? No. Can't do it.
Yeah, it's nothing with him. It's just all Geno. I mean, this is bad, man. And, like I just said, Chargers have been very, very good at limiting big plays, not really giving up much to slot receivers. I'm pretty much fully out on Raiders this week.
Now, we do have the change to Greg Olsen at the very least. So there's always some sort of bump.
I can't believe he is the offensive coordinator for this team again. It's unbelievable.
It's the third time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He was the Jags offensive coordinator a number of years ago, and he was really bad in the role. But
never underestimate the cronyism and nepotism in the NFL. Like Mike
really
McCoy
bad on this
still has a
Carroll
job.
staff too. Really, really bad.
Chris Weck tracks all this stuff, all the cronyism and stuff. You gotta look at he has a dossier on all these coaches. It's hilarious how many of these guys just keep getting jobs. But Olsen's one that's he's always been the number 2 to a play calling head coach. I think he hasn't called plays in the NFL in like 17 years or something like that. So
yeah,
really
like Carolina, like a decade and a half ago or something.
Yeah, like 07, I think, or something. So it'd be interesting to see what he comes up with in this one. But yeah.
Anyways, enough of the damn Raiders. They stink. Let's move on to the Bills and the Steelers, who also stink, by the way. Graham, the backfield, give us your assessment of where we are with Kenny freaking Gainwell, who is annoying as hell. Because every time I think he's good, he stinks, and vice versa.
Yeah, and it's annoying too because he's taking all the passing down work, John. Last week he got 17 routes, 6 targets. Warren basically wasn't involved in the passing, and that's like, Warren's been a great pass catcher his entire career. This was my concern. I said it last week that I thought the Gainwell usage before Warren got hurt in that game was sticky because that's what Arthur Smith loves to do. He loves to play 2 backs. Unfortunately, I think you got to downgrade Warren rest of season. For this week specifically, though, John, I mean, it's an amazing matchup. I mean, Buffalo has been so bad against the run all year.
Sure.
This offense has also struggled. Like, this game should be relatively close, so Pittsburgh should be able to kind of continue to run the ball 25, 30 times if they want. Warren is a good RB2 because of this matchup, but I also think you can play Gainwell as a low-end flex this week for his annoying role. I know we all wanted it to be Jaylen Warren. I did too, but Arthur Smith can't help himself.
Aren't they bad on the zone runs?
Yeah, they've been
Buffalo.
Yeah, they've been. I mean, they're bad.
They're bad on everything.
They're bad on everything.
Right, everything. Yeah. Especially bad, which would bode well for Warren.
Yeah, I mean that's Pittsburgh's game.
Right. Brett, I noticed that one of our, maybe it was you, probably not, but one of our charters notice or opine that DK Metcalf has lost a step. That was my thought. I was like, that's it. I mean, he looks terrible. And like, my theory is, how many other receivers out there look like the Incredible Hulk? Is it possible that DK Metcalf has fallen off a cliff?
It's for sure possible. And I thought this game with Mason Rudolph as a starter would be a good indication of where he's at because Rudolph's willing to cut it loose.
100%.
So we get a real good look on it. Is it a Rodgers thing or is DK actually kind of cooked?
Yeah.
DK's actually kind of cooked.
Yeah.
And this Pickens for Metcalf swap they did, it's going to go down as one of the worst personnel decisions in NFL history. Yeah. They traded a 2 for Metcalf and his contract and got back a 3 and just so they didn't have to pay Pickens. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they may have gotten, Pickens is a little bit of a handful. Maybe there was some sort of schism there between him and Tomlin, but it's the only explanation because it was a dumb move.
Well, both parties have said that they had a great relationship.
Yeah,
since the trade.
Okay, well,
I don't know. It's super weird.
Super weird, but we're on the same page. DK he looks terrible,
and now he's hurt.
Now he's hurt, and now, by the way, they're left with nothing. They don't have anything in their passing game.
Roman Wilson's trended up, I thought, a little bit, but They
but what I mean by that we can count on.
Exactly. I mean,
nothing.
They've got nothing. Rodgers should be back. It seems like he should be back this week, but I'm kind of with you guys. I don't think it's like a huge down upgrade for this offense. Maybe worth a couple points, but nothing crazy.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're getting Dalton Kincaid back, who did not practice to open the week. They let Elijah Moore go. And Brett, I'm like, Dalton Kincaid is the guy. Like, if the Bills want to make a run, don't you think it's got to be Kincaid leading the way in the receiving game?
Has to be. I've been saying it since the summer. They just, even when he's on the field, though, he's not on the field that much, right? He's
Right.
still like, what, a 50% snap share? It's
I mean, that seemed like that was maybe trending toward positive right before the injury.
Yep. This week I'm concerned in general for the Bills. They're, Deion Dawkins concussion protocol now. Spencer Brown, it looked like he broke his arm the other day, then played 3 quarters.
Yeah.
He might.
And that was like their big thing, the continuity on the O-line.
Yeah, same 5 starters for the 3rd year in a row now, and one of the best tackle duos in the league. Both guys hurt. This is not good, man.
Man,
I still think the Bills win this game, but I think it could be just a very frustrating, low-scoring affair.
This is going to be a very ugly game, I think. Yeah.
Denver at DC, and I'm ready to feel good about Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton this week. I actually have some guys at my house now working from Denver, and I've been telling them, they're big Broncos fan. I'm telling them, like, Bo Nix stinks. And then he, 1 week he throws for like 400, and they're like, oh yeah, he stinks. And then 2 weeks go by and he throws for 48 yards. I'm like, yeah, he stinks. But Brett, to you on Bo Nix here, DC plays a lot of man. I think that's what you want, and I think Cortland Sutton probably looking pretty good here.
Yep, I agree on both accounts. Washington literally can't cover anyone. Mikey Sanders still having a really disappointing second year as a corner.
Because they're making him go all over the place.
True. That is true. Probably wasn't ready for that. He's also small. So him going against Cortland Sutton could be very comical this week. Sutton's 6'4". I think Mikey's, 5'9". So this should be a really good matchup for Bo Nix. If there's a week he could go off, this is definitely it for sure.
This is definitely it. But Graham, if there's a week that RJ Harvey could go off, I think this is it too.
Yeah, I think we had a bad run out in that last game. Jaleel McLaughlin didn't really play all that much. It kind of reminded me, it was basically the Trevion Henderson type usage, just without the breakout type performance. I mean, he had a huge role. And the McLaughlin touchdown was really unfortunate because Harvey got them down there, and then he needed a sip of water, and then McLaughlin punched in that touchdown that last game. But yeah, 61% of the snaps for Harvey in their last game. He had 11 carries to McLaughlin 6. Like I said, McLaughlin really was just the change of pace guy. And the big thing for us, John, is I mentioned this to Chris a couple weeks ago, but I was like, how excited would you have been to play J.K. Dobbins, but with a passing down role this year? And I think that's what we're getting with Harvey for rest of season.
Yeah.
And then, like you mentioned, you get this great matchup out of the bye with Washington and, Marcus Mariota being under center. I think Nix has kind of been easy to handicap this year.
He has been.
He's crushed in 2 great matchups against the Bengals and the Cowboys. He's been okay in a few other spots, and he's been bad in their bad matchups. This is clearly a great spot. I mean, Washington has arguably been the worst defense since week 6, week 7 in the NFL. So I'm all in on Harvey, and I'm all in on Nix too this week. I think this is a great spot for the Broncos. Sean Payton out of a bye. He's got 2 weeks to scheme up against these guys. I think Denver's going to roll on Sunday night.
Back to you, though. Right back to you on Chris Rodriguez. Bad matchup, but how confident are you that he's the man now, dog?
I think he's better than JCM, but I could also see, Bill, maybe he rips off an explosive and Cliff is just rides with it. This seems very much hot-handish. I know it's not super helpful analysis for you guys listening, but it really does feel that way to me. It's kind of just like Washington is really just flying by the seat of their pants with this run game. Rodriguez has certainly been better the last couple of weeks, and I see them coming out of the bye, and he probably gets the first chance, but again, would not be surprised if we got Bill Krosky mixing in quite a bit. I think the big thing for Washington this week, John, is Terry McLaurin's actually practicing. He's back on the field. They should get Debo back. They might get Noah Brown back. They might actually have 3 functioning NFL wide receivers again. So if that is, any help for just this offense in general moving the ball, it should help their run game, but probably not this week. Broncos pass rush is going to dominate. They're going to dominate this spot.
They'll play man, Brett, which McLaurin can beat, but that man in particular will be Mr. Surtain, and its man coverage is bad for Debo and Zach Ertz. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care what the Broncos are doing. Their defense is awesome. So I'm a little scared here. Washington, they've had trouble pass protecting too of late.
Yep.
I think their last 4 or 5 weeks, it's like a 40% plus pressure rate against the quarterback. So things are all just kind of falling apart for them. This is definitely a lost season for the Commanders after what an incredible run last year.
And then last but not least, Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. Dart is back. We'll see some dart throws this week up against the New England Patriots in New England. But first and foremost, Giants defense, not bad. Play a lot of man. I think that's probably Stephon Diggs' time. I don't know about Booty this week because Cordell Flott all of a sudden is like the man, Brett, and no on Hunter Henry for yours truly. So to me, I think it's a Stephon Diggs day.
For sure, Stephon Diggs day. Drake May has killed man coverage this year. I think he's got the third highest fantasy points per dropback against man. The Giants play a lot of it, and so he's going to get plenty of opportunities to shred. Demario Douglas, though, has been really been doing man. He's got the highest yards per route run in the NFL.
I know. Made a big play last week.
Yeah, yep. But Douglas and Diggs, I like them both in this game, and May should shred. Travion actually is probably the start of the week at running back. The Giants, their last 5 games, given up 6.32 yards per carry. You just saw Jahmyr Gibbs, a similar player to Travion, just go completely nuclear.
Ripping it. Yeah, I can conjure that vision up in my head for sure. Travion Henderson taking one to the crib. Graham, what about the other side? Hey, Tyrone Tracy got some goal line carries. Yay.
Yeah, he did. I think I had that stat. It was Singletary had like the previous 18 snaps inside the 10, 18 straight snaps, and then they finally gave Tracy a little bit of love. I mean, Jackson Dart has been, in terms of production, like the 3rd or 4th most productive rookie quarterback of all time. Now he gets a great spot here, at least just to have to chase Drake May and the Patriots scoring output. So I'm going to write up Dart as a must-start play again this week. I just think you keep riding it. Wan'Dale Robinson has been unbelievably
good.
That touchdown.
I've been a Wan'Dale guy in the past, and I'm shocked at how good he's been.
To be fair, that touchdown, the long touchdown he had last week, he was like uncovered the whole time.
Right.
I mean, it was just
a trick play.
Yeah. Well, it was a trick play, but I mean, it was like they just completely forgot about him on that play. That being said, he's been awesome though. I do worry about this offense, long term with Slayton not really looking super healthy out there coming off the hamstring injury.
Right.
They don't really have a perimeter threat. I believe in Wan'Dale. The talent's there obviously, but that's my only concern in this spot is that the Patriots might be able to kind of cover extremely well. It's going to force Dart to run more. Before we get out of here, I want to ask Brett, do we think Dart changes his playing style at all because he's taking so much contact? Obviously, he's looking to scramble if the first read's not there.
He's got to be a little more hesitant.
Yeah. What's it's funny. They asked Dan Campbell this question going into last week, and I thought he nailed it. It's like the thing about it is that playing style is what got him here.
Right.
And you can't take the dog out of a guy like that. That's just who he is.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like psycho Baker Mayfield, more psycho Baker Mayfield.
Hopefully you can teach him to pick his spots a little bit better. Like, hey, and I have to have a situation. Sure, go ahead and try to truck a linebacker, bro. But otherwise, get your ass down and slide or run out of bounds or whatever you got to do. I just don't think you can take that out of him. I think that's who he is. He's a gamer. He's a competitor. Yep. He's super, super competitive. So I think he's going to do what he can on any given play. And unfortunately, that might come with some injuries. And, maybe in the offseason they get to work on it a lot. But for now, at least, I think this is who he is.
Yeah, he's a major alpha. There's no doubt about it. That dude, when he was 5 years old on the playground, he took over on kickball. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about it. Theo Johnson, for what it's worth, actually does well against man, which I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but he does. And he's actually not that bad. So I think that's another guy in the mix here. But no go on Slayton. I'm not feeling it with him. He does not look good. I think we're all done here. Well, we'll wrap it up on that note. And we do apologize for not getting as many of the games, but due to the logistics of it, We do have the Thanksgiving Day holiday, and we're just not able to get the podcast out in time for it to have much of a shelf life. Hopefully you checked out the content over at fantasypoints.com, and certainly continue doing that over the weekend as you gear up for week number 13. Happy holidays to everybody. For Graham Barfield and Brett Whitefield, I'm John Hansen. Good luck in week 13, and we'll catch you next time at fantasypoints.com.